So in this week's video, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be diving into Lost Colony and the upcoming DLC for ARK Survival Ascended. Lost Colony is the first new story DLC for ARK since the release of Genesis 2, and that was all the way back in 2021. But without rambling on anymore, let's just jump right into the video and get amongst all the latest information we have. So as we said, Lost Colony is the first new story DLC from ARK since Genesis Part 2. It's set to release on the 18th of December 2025. Which is now not far away at all, and it'll be available on Steam, Epic, Xbox and the PlayStation Store, and also comes with quite a few pre-order bonuses, but we'll jump into those a bit later on. So when it comes to the story and setting, Lost Colony is designed to bridge the story gap between Extinction and Genesis Part 1, while also setting the stage up for ARK 2. In this DLC, players are going to follow in Miriam's footsteps on an intense journey into the heart of darkness as she searches for the long buried secrets from the ARK's past. The story takes place in and around Ara Prime, the former control centre for all of the ARKs. This area reportedly includes a war-torn city occupied by twisted element-powered factions who seek to undo what was accomplished at the end of Extinction. Ara Prime was once one of the crucial parts of humanity's effort to survive the cataclysm that led to the creation of the ARKs, but the colony later vanished and was abandoned, leaving only scattered remnants behind. In an interview with Raz Clark, it was revealed that the story will be delivering through multiple formats, in traditional fully voiced explorer notes and dossiers, semi-animated voiced conversations between key characters retrieved from the Engram Codex, reminiscent of like your GRP style dialogues, full CGI sequences using Unreal's metahuman technology for detailed performance capture and character animation, anima sequences by Mapper, in-game real-time sequences, and voice-in-head narratives where certain characters communicate directly with the player, similar to the Genesis when Helena speaks or HLNA. Now, when it comes to the gameplay features, a lot has already been released in the pre-order bonuses, at least a lot of what we know about. I'm sure there's more they've hidden away, clearly from the Malwin and a few other bits and bobs that's been leaked. Introduced with Lost Colony is the skill tree system, which is one of them that's been backported from ARK 2. Through it, players are able to unlock powerful passive and active abilities, which has been designed to fit different playstyles within the game. So you can access that through the character screen and unlock points. You'll have to complete a track of milestones in order to get points. Depending on which milestones roll, it can be really easy or can be quite a grind. It really depends where you're at in the game, and different abilities and passive cost different points depending on how powerful they are. It's something I've really been testing out, and I think it's a great addition to the game, and I can't wait to see how it expands in the future, and it definitely gives a bit more diverse ability to PvP and PvE and just character immersion. Next up is the build and template system, which requires making a template hammer in either a smithy or a replicator. Players can create their own templates or import other players' templates to be then able to replicate themselves. The system features an auto build system where as long as the template's being placed correctly, the template will automatically fill in over time as long as the players have the correct pieces for the template within their inventory. So what this means is, for the people that aren't that good at building within ARK, they'll find a way to create exactly what they're looking for from a few websites already hosting other players' templates. I don't think it's too hard to build in ARK Survival Ascended. It was much more skill based in ARK Survival Evolved, but for the newcomers, I think this is definitely a helping hand they need and should keep player engagement a little bit higher for sure. Tech bunkers are another gameplay mechanic introduced with Lost Colony DLC that are already in the game, and the deployable underground structures. They're available once a player has reached level 80, and after placing, players will be able to access a console where they'll be able to enter build mode of the tech bunker and will be able to craft the tech bunker modules, and then they'll use the modules to apply a layout for the bunker. The max size of the bunker is limited to 9x9x9, so bear that in mind when doing this. Two new systems coming to Lost Colony that are not yet released are a new tier of items known as the Cursed Tier of Gear. All we know currently about this Cursed Tier of Gear is that it's going to be craftable items with the introduction of Lost Colony. With it being a new tier of gear, it may have new resources that are required to craft, or maybe they're going to use the red element talked about in the Osadon dossier. I think that's quite likely that the Cursed Gear and the Evolution, they're all going to use some type of red element or red element dust. I think that's the vibe we're going for. The opposing force NPC raid bases were talked about in Raz Clark's interview with Jeremy, one of the owners of Wildcard. Within the new map, there'll be dynamic enemy outposts through the city and beyond for players to raid and in some cases defend. So I think this system's definitely going to be a good one and one to watch, and I could see it being quite rewarding and enjoyable for PvE players. I think it's going to be a vastly simplified version from ARK 2, but it's something yet again we're going to see how the game's going to develop and where they want to go, and we can give feedback on that and actually help shape the future of ARK 2. Obviously I know this is a Lost Colony DLC, but you can see all of the content they're putting in. They're really using ASA to trial test a lot of systems, and if we give them good feedback, it really helps the next game we get, because that is going to be way bigger than ASA. We all know that, but ASA obviously we still want to develop, so we obviously want to give good feedback on the game too, or the DLC. When it comes to creatures, there hasn't been too much information on the creatures that hasn't already been released as part of the pre-order bonus. Now, the pre-order bonus teams include the Drakelings and the Ossodon, the Elderclaw and the Veilwind, which we'll quickly jump into now. Up is the Ossodon. So that's the newest pre-order term to become available, and it's a huge ape-like creature that has been mutated by Red Element. The Ossodon can be found on Valguero, the Center and Ragnarok in the ice biomes of those maps, but only temporarily until the release of Lost Colony, and it currently cannot be bred. Now, the Ossodon comes with several unique abilities. Its basic attack is a quick claw swipe, and every third consecutive use triggers a more powerful double fist clap that deals significantly increased damage. It also has an Icicle Rain ability, which projects a shower of icicles forward in an AoE attack. The icicles remain on the field for 60 seconds and apply frostbite debuff to creatures within roughly 6 meters, causing damage over time and slowing them down as well. The number of icicles fired scales with the Ossodon's food stat, while the attack's range and distance increase with the oxygen stat. Another notable ability is its bolus attack, more commonly known as its snowball attack. The Ossodon forms and rolls a large ball of snow and mud that can absorb multiple smaller creatures and players, damaging them as it moves. The maximum size of the snowball and the number of victims it can carry scale with the health and weight stat, while the duration it can be rolled depends on stamina. So there's a lot of balancing and min-maxing, and I don't really know how we're going to meta use this term, but I'm sure the more we use it or people abuse it, we'll figure a way out. But I do still feel, even though it's getting some negativity in a minute, I feel like this is going to end up being quite a broken term. Now, the next term we're going to talk about is the Elderclaw, described as a mystical forest guardian. The Elderclaw is available on several maps and must be grown rather than traditionally tamed, but what exactly can it do? Well, like many other creatures, it has the basic claw and bite attacks, as well as a lunge attack that covers a respectable distance and deals additional damage. It also possesses a root burst ability, which can be used while targeting other creatures. When activated, it sends roots through the ground to trap enemies, and another feature is its back armor ability, which reduces incoming damage while active, though it does consume a lot more extra food. The Elderclaw also has a powerful totem ability. When deployed, the totem increases the melee damage of allies within its area of effect, and it grows in size as creatures are killed inside its radius. The totem can be detonated to deal AoE damage and temporarily enlarges the Elderclaw, granting it additional damage boost. I think you could use this on potentially drops, OSDs if you want to call them that, or even fobs. I think it needs more testing and tweaking, but I do honestly think this will be a big part of the game as well. Now, the third team is the Drakeling, which are currently among the most useful pre-order creatures, especially since they feature 3 distinct modes: weapon mode, buff mode and experience mode. There's 4 variants of the Drakeling: spring, winter, autumn and summer, each offering different buffs and perks. But before we get into what each individual Drakeling can do, let's go over the abilities they all share. Each Drakeling provides a temporary buff when you are in the correct biome, increasing both your XP gain and loot quality. They also possess an XP transfer ability. When a Drakeling is on your shoulder, it begins storing experience, which you can transfer to another team using its breath attack while in XP mode. If the transfer is performed when the Drakeling's stored experience is capped at 30,000 XP, XP, it'll reward you with an Ascendant Dragon Horde key, allowing you to locate valuable loot on the map. As for the individual buffs they grant, the Spring Drakeling provides health regeneration and reduces stamina consumption. The Summer Drakeling increases movement speed and shortens the duration of the crowd control effects. Autumn Drakeling boosts melee damage and gathering rate. And finally, the Winter Drakeling grants damage resistance buff. The next creature on the list is the Veilwind, a companion tame similar to the Armadoggo from Extinction, and it comes with a wide range of supportive and offensive abilities. One of the main is its skill to call friends, which allows the Veilwind to clone itself up to 6 times, granting a pack bonus that increases its damage but also causes it to take more damage. These clones remain active for 60 seconds. The Veilwind also provides several passive buffs through its constant moral support abilities. Moral support speed increases movement speed of both the player and the mount by 5%, moral support offensive boost the damage by 5%, and the moral support defensive reduces incoming damage by 5%. In addition to these passive bonuses, the Veilwind has several active abilities that offer temporary boosts. Tundra Swiftness increases the player and the mount's movement speed by 15% for 5 seconds and has a 2 minute and 30 seconds cooldown. Tundra Power lasts for 60 seconds and increases the next instance of damage dealt by the player and the mount with a cooldown of 25 seconds. Finally, Tundra Endurance restores 150 health over 2 seconds to the Veilwind, the player and their mount. On top of all this, we also know from its description the Veilwind will be able to evolve into 2 additional forms. One of these will be the Malwind, described as being born from artificial evolution. Based on the images we've seen, the Malwind appears to be a mountable creature, and with its ability to weaken and slow prey, it seems likely to become one of the better tames when Lost Colony releases that you'll definitely want for PvP. We also have the Solwind, which is said to be from beneath the frozen wastes. It's a new evolution that has risen to challenge the malevolent shadow of its darker twin, which is the Malwind. Sharpened by the strange forces that fuel its transformation, it's said, this is a swift guardian that glides across the ice fields, creates fleeting pathways, and moves through frozen hazards with confident precision and grace. Their unrelenting protectiveness drives the Solwind to fiercely guard the bounded rider. It follows a single rule to keep you safe from the darkness behind you. So from this I do gather that we might see the 2 factions that ultimately destroyed Earth or warred for Earth fighting against each other, and one side is, the Malwind and the other side is the Solwind, and they're kind of fighting each other. One's fueled by red element, maybe one's fueled by normal element. The snow is probably not going to be like Death Snow. It might be more akin to the radiation zone that really damages you, and you need some protective gear, hence why in the pictures you see this kind of new gear or armor. I think that would be really cool, and having them buffs and having to utilize them in different areas. And just before I was due to upload this video, Wildcard decided to drop both the Kia and the Community Crunch 487, which showed off the Gloon. So first what we're going to do is we're going to get into the Gloon. Now the Gloon is described as a glowing oddity. It drifts through Arat Prime. Whether it's repulsive or oddly adorable is up for debate, and one thing is for certain, the Gloon is a creature that defies easy classification. Its purpose is unclear, its nature is unsettling. Whispers suggest its light stirs unusual reactions in nearby creatures, calming some, provoking others. Some survivors say its glow can lead the lost to safety, others insist it guides them somewhere else entirely. So for me, this one gives flashbacks to the Noglins. It's definitely inspired by it slightly. This is a creature I really want to know about, like how broke is it actually going to be? Can it provoke Gigas or Karchas to enrage and start attacking their own people? Who knows, but I'm sure we'll find out soon enough. If so, it's going to be pretty meta. Now, there was another drop this week, and that is the QR. There was a lot in this image, and Wildcard always does this when they drop new DLCs. We finally got a look at the 3 factions that had been teased for this DLC. So what we did get is we got the colours and the scheme and the vibe. We had the red Lost King faction, looks pretty cool. We had Rockwell's purple Corrupt faction and the blue United Republic of Earth faction. So it looks like the Aberration Ark crashed into the side of the planet. That could play a massive role in the DLC than we originally thought, especially with the weird tentacles, and what I will say is they're quite reminiscent of the ones from Gen 2. Then on the red side we have a creature from the original Lost Colony teaser that is fighting with Mei Yin. We of course have a few Malwins, and then a lot of people in what may be Curse to Yaguya. That's what I'm thinking. It could be skins. I think it might be a taste of the Curse to Yaguya. But the one bit on here that was really interesting is there's two people here. We see one with what looks like a bow very similar to the tech bow. You're maybe going to see this get introduced early, and it actually will be the tech bow. We might not see that in Gen 2. We might see something else. And then in another part, you see a pair of red tech wings and what looks like to be a fabricated crossbow from the Osadon teaser, and maybe even a red railgun or some variation of a tech weapon. This DLC just from that side alone seems to be adding a lot more than any other DLC has in the past, and hopefully they aren't just all skins. I actually think this might be legitimate items that they're adding to the game, and it's looking so cool. We also got the first look of the Lost King, the leader of the Red Faction, who seems to be very vampiric in his design, and behind him is a masked character that bears a good similarity to Mei Yin, who is set to be the main character of this DLC, and is missing from the images, so it's more than likely this is actually her. How she came to be in the Red Faction will probably be something we discover during the DLC, and who knows, maybe this is finally a death arc and we won't see it in Arc 2. For any of you guys that's seen the Netflix series, pretty abysmal end to me, and if this is the case, but it will be really cool to see all of the new content, all of the PvP, the PvE, and just showing how they're really jumping into the story now, and it really gives us hope for Arc 2 of what they're trying to create, and we'll just have to see how it plays out, but I'm positive so far. And we also can't forget what looks like to be the Desmodus with a unique new saddle. Could this be the early introduction of the Desmodus? And with the Desmodus being a favourite within the community, I see it being highly likely that this might actually be an early drop or a variation that basically is the Desmodus with some other fancy skills and some TLCs. Then finally on the left we have a blue faction with Veilwind, Solwind, and a brand new creature that is yet to be talked about but looks to be massive as it rivals the Osadon in size in this image by far. It clearly draws inspiration from the Chinese dragons, which makes sense with Mei Ying being a big focus of this DLC and where she descends from, but also looks to draw inspiration from a lot of other DLC creatures, as it also reminds me of a mix of the Basilisk, the Managama, or maybe a bit of the Wyvern added in too. We also have the blue faction down the bottom with what looks to be a blue tech spear and a new tier of armor, or maybe just a skin. We'll have to wait and see for the DLC to actually figure this out fully or confirm that, or for another community crunch to drop and let us know what is actually going on. It is pretty amazing, and I'm really hyped to see Lost Colony, and I've got a lot of content to cover on this and I can't wait. I'll be covering this on TikTok, so I've got a TikTok account, Azrial, over there, and I've also going to be covering this in short and some long form videos. If you're interested in anything to do with Ark, you've got any questions watching the videos you're playing through, you're perfectly fine to head over to our Discord and join just for the community side of things, and use Curse Chat to just ask bits and bobs as we're doing a playthrough, so obviously we'll be playing PvP servers. But yeah, really hyped for this, think it's going to be amazing. This is all we currently know about what is coming with the release of Lost Colony, but what do you guys think? Let me know down below what you guys most looking forward to when Lost Colony releases. Do you think I've missed anything, or do you think it will actually release on time on the 16th or be delayed again? I'm sure I've missed some bits and bobs, so drop them down below because then I can add them in future videos and it obviously clues me up some more. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to the channel, as I've got loads more Ark content coming, and turn on the notifications so you don't miss a video. Obviously I want to push 2 to 3k subs, so anyone subbing really helps out, and if you've enjoyed the video, give it a like, and as always I really do appreciate you watching. Feel free to give the video a share, and I'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.